Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter.
Fight for both of us, I believe.
Any doubt in your mind that you beat him?
Of course I beat him. It ain't no doubt in my mind that I won't beat anybody that I step in the ring with.
The highly anticipated showdown between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez is edging closer to becoming a reality. Undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo has intensified the buzz around this potential mega fight, and Crawford has wasted no time firing back at the Mexican star.
Good fighter, like Errol Spence is. But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with the Spence. He did like almost look very easy.
This fight, which has been in negotiations for months, promises to be one of the most thrilling matchups in recent boxing history. Terence Crawford, a 4-division world champion, aims to conquer the 168-pound division, a monumental challenge that pits him against one of the world's best pound-for-pound fighters. The rivalry is already heating up, as Crawford has sparked a war of words with Mexican champion Canelo Alvarez. This historic clash between two undisputed champions is shaping up to be a showdown for the ages.
It won't be like any other fight that he's fought recently. And it'd be a well-fought fight for both of us, I believe.
In a recent interview shared on journalist Die Boxing Man's social media, Canelo Alvarez expressed skepticism about Terence Crawford's status as a true champion. "Look, I respect Terence Crawford, he's very talented, but he's only won one big fight. If you look at his record, the only notable fighter he's beaten is Errol Spence. Beyond that, he hasn't faced other great fighters like Spence," said the Mexican champion. Crawford wasted no time firing back, taking to his social media to respond to Canelo's remarks and issue a warning to the Mexican star.
Heard of people asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, I always say, I respect Terence Crawford.
So, out of all the fighters I've faced, only one has been good? Noted. Just remember what he said, because I've always enjoyed making a fighter who was someone look like a nobody, Crawford fired back. With this bold statement, Crawford didn't just respond to Canelo's comments but also escalated the tension surrounding their potential fight. The showdown promises to deliver fireworks not only inside the ring but also outside it, as the rivalry between these two elite boxers continues to intensify.
About a small fighter like Charlo, he's big, which he is big, and everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford.
Canelo continued to discuss the potential fight during an interview with a reputable boxing platform. The 34-year-old acknowledged he was open to facing Terence "Bud" Crawford, though he admitted it might not earn him much recognition. "I respect Crawford, he's a great fighter, and I've always said that. No disrespect to him," Canelo explained. "But sometimes it's a bit crazy when people talk about a smaller fighter like Charlo, who's big, and then compare that to Crawford, a fighter at 147, who's even smaller than Charlo. It doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, I know I won't get much credit for fighting Crawford, but you never know in boxing. I've gone up and down in weight to fight everyone out there, so it's possible. Why not? It's possible."
Fighter 147, who is smaller than Charlo. So no make sense when you guys say that.
This echoed statements Canelo made in a previous interview, where he said, "I'm in, why not? Don't get me wrong, Crawford is a great fighter, but in my weight class, it's an easy fight for me. Easy money. If the money is right, I'm in. I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he moves a lot, and the fight isn't that exciting. But I saw Crawford in his last fight, and he doesn't move as much now. So yeah, if the money is right, I'm in." The fight, which has been under negotiation for months, would be for Canelo's 168-pound title, requiring Crawford to jump up 2 weight divisions, a significant disadvantage. Despite this, Crawford remains confident in his ability to challenge the Mexican champion. As part of the ongoing talks, both fighters are expected to take on a preliminary fight before officially squaring off.
He's an undisputed champion.
Well, I wouldn't count Crawford out in any fight because Crawford has a unique talent. He's a great boxer.
Just days ago, Canelo confirmed he has booked the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas for September 13th, marking his second fight of the year. Meanwhile, Bob Arum, who promoted several of Terence Crawford's fights before their split in 2021, shared his thoughts on the potential matchup. Arum believes Crawford's ability to switch stances could pose problems for Canelo, despite the significant weight difference, which would require the 37-year-old Crawford to move up 2 weight classes. "I wouldn't count Crawford out in any fight," Arum told FightHype.com. Crawford has a unique talent. He's a great boxer-puncher and completely ambidextrous in the ring.
Boxer-puncher. And he is totally ambidextrous. So he drives his opponent crazy because the opponent trains to fight a right-handed fighter and ends up fighting a southpaw.
Crawford has a unique way of frustrating his opponents. He drives them crazy because they train to face a right-handed fighter but end up fighting a southpaw instead, explained Bob Arum. That's exactly what happened to Errol Spence. Spence trained for a right-handed opponent, but all he saw in the ring was a southpaw. Arum believes Crawford is aiming for a fight similar to the iconic Manny Pacquiao vs. Oscar de la Hoya showdown. Although Canelo Alvarez was previously dismissive of facing the 37-year-old Crawford, his stance has shifted following productive discussions with Saudi Arabian boxing chief Turki Al-Sheikh in London earlier this month. Canelo, now 34, secured 2 victories in 2024, defending his titles with decision wins over Jamie Munguia and Edgar Berlanga. Meanwhile, Crawford made history by becoming a 4-weight world champion, capturing the WBA super welterweight title with a points victory over Islam Madrimov.
And that's what happened to what's his name?
Errol?
Errol.
Yeah. Errol Spence.
Canelo Alvarez, a 4-division world champion, is expected to fight on his traditional Cinco de Mayo date in May. International Boxing Federation champion William Skull is a potential opponent if Canelo decides to take a bout before facing Terence Crawford. A victory would see Canelo reclaim his status as the undisputed super middleweight champion. The highly anticipated showdown between Canelo and Terence Crawford continues to dominate boxing headlines. While the fight hasn't been officially confirmed, the prospect of these 2 pound-for-pound stars clashing in the ring has captured the attention of fans around the globe. Canelo's last fight was in September, where he successfully defended his unified super middleweight titles against Edgar Berlanga. Meanwhile, Crawford recently moved up to 154 pounds, defeating Islam Madrimov to claim the WBA super welterweight title.
There's loads of things going around at the moment, including a big clash with Canelo Alvarez. Can you tell us what's going on in that situation, and can that happen next?
We shall see, who knows?
The fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford was first speculated shortly after Crawford dethroned WBA light middleweight champion Islam Madrimov last August, adding the 154-pound title to the 3 other weight divisions where he has won world titles. Soon after Crawford's victory over Madrimov, Canelo made another successful defense of his WBC, WBA, and WBO super middleweight titles, securing another dominant win in a division he has controlled since 2021.
The fruits of my labor.
And you absolutely deserve it. As I said, you're a pound-for-pound king. If it isn't Canelo next year, are you done from the sport, Terence?
I wouldn't say that. Right now, I'm just weighing out my options and looking for the best opportunities and options for Terence Crawford.
As both fighters prepare for what could be the biggest battle of their careers, the 39-year-old 2-time undisputed champion has already sent a warning to Canelo. Speaking on social media, Crawford vowed to shock the world and secure a victory over the Mexican superstar when they finally meet in the ring. "I'm going to shock the world, watch. The best is yet to come. I've had this in my back pocket the whole time," Crawford declared.
My career.
Absolutely. Last one on him, I promise. If that fight is made, how does it go with you and Canelo? How does it play out?
Well, that's why you watch it and see.
While Crawford remains confident, it's clear that the task ahead will be monumental. He will need to move up 2 weight divisions before facing the 34-year-old Mexican, who has achieved great success in the super middleweight division, defeating top fighters like Gennady Golovkin, Caleb Plant, and Jermall Charlo. Despite the weight disparity between the two, the potential for this super fight continues to be a hot topic of discussion.
That's what everybody want to see us fight for, because everybody got answers that need to be answered. the only way they can be answered is
Amir Khan, the only boxer to have faced both Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, shared his unique perspective on the potential showdown in an interview with Box Nation. Khan, who fought Canelo at a catch weight of 155 pounds, acknowledged the significant weight advantage that Canelo would hold. "Canelo is a beast, man. I've fought both of these guys, and I feel that size always plays a big role. Weight divisions exist for a reason," Khan explained. "Terence is special, don't get me wrong, but when he's getting hit by a guy like Canelo." Khan's comments come as Canelo Alvarez, the WBC, WBA, and WBO super middleweight champion, continues to make waves, most recently in his second-round win over Edgar Berlanga at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas on September 14, 2024.
Look, I like Crawford, and I think Canelo is a beast at that weight. Honestly, I would advise Crawford not to do that.
Khan, who suffered a sixth-round stoppage loss to Alvarez, emphasized the physical challenges of facing the Mexican superstar. "What a fight that would be. I'll root for my boy Terence and want him to win, but it would be tough," Khan said. Does he need that fight? No, I don't think he does. He's done so well in his career and beaten everyone, he's untouchable, one of the best pound for pound. But if it's a big payday, I get why it would happen. Why take a risky fight for less money when he can face a seriously tough opponent for serious money? Despite the risks, Khan praised Crawford's skills, noting that he has the ability to compete at the highest level. However, he stressed the potential dangers of such a matchup, adding, "We never want to see fighters get hurt."
Canelo versus Jamel Charlo playing out.
I think Canelo just outboxes. Well, no, doesn't outbox him, but I think just outpowers him and beats him to the punch. And you do give Canelo does have some sort of decent.
Amid growing speculation, Canelo Alvarez addressed the rumors with a brief yet intriguing response: "I'm open to talk." While his message leaves room for interpretation, it has only heightened excitement among boxing fans, suggesting that this megafight might be closer to becoming a reality when the two face off in September. Shakur Stevenson, the WBC lightweight champion, believes Terence Crawford will defeat Canelo Alvarez and thinks it could be an easy fight for Crawford. Stevenson, who has long predicted this outcome, reiterated that he has been saying for years that Crawford would come out on top against Canelo.
Rumors of Canelo and obviously your good friend, mentor, Terence Crawford. A lot of people a few years ago would have said that's crazy, but I think everybody, when they see the talent of Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford, the WBA champion in the 154 pounds light middleweight division, has promised to gain 14 pounds in preparation for the highly anticipated bout, which could very well be the highest paying day of his career. When asked if he believes Crawford will win the matchup, Shakur Stevenson was confident in his response. "I've been saying this for years now. I'm probably the first one to say it, even before Terence did. I've always thought Crawford's style is a bad matchup for Canelo. I think he beats Canelo," Stevenson said in an interview with TalkSport Boxing. While Stevenson suggests Crawford might stand toe-to-toe and trade blows with Canelo in September, that scenario seems unlikely, considering Crawford's typical strategy when facing powerful punchers.
Weight classes, he's a special fighter, pound for pound. I think many will say #1 in the world, alongside the likes of people like yourself and that great list that we've got at the minute. Is he the man to beat Canelo?
Crawford typically relies on movement, using his jab and quick footwork to land shots before swiftly repositioning. He doesn't stay stationary or engage in relentless attacks. His aggressive performance against Errol Spence was more of an exception, largely due to Spence not being at his best after his car accident. It would be a little over a year, 13 months. You've got to be very careful if you're going to take a fight above 160 pounds because it's a new weight range, said Chris Mannix on his YouTube channel regarding Crawford potentially taking a tune-up fight. It seems unlikely that Crawford would take the risk of a tune-up fight against a super middleweight before facing Canelo Alvarez in September.
Canelo.
Yes, honestly, if anybody could jump up in weight classes and do it, it's Terence Crawford. I don't know nobody who is mentally as strong as Terence Crawford.
If Crawford does compete in this weight class, it would likely be at a catch weight of around 163 or 164 pounds against a middleweight moving up. Potential opponents could include Aaron McKenna, Liam Smith, Austin Williams, or Kyron Davis, fighters who pose minimal threat to Crawford and are ranked lower in the middleweight division. The collision course between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has seemed inevitable for a few years now. After his dominant knockout win over Errol Spence Jr. in July 2023, Crawford called for a fight with Canelo, who was already a two-time undisputed champion. Crawford wanted to move up 3 weight classes to claim more gold, but the super middleweight champion had other plans. Canelo initially shot down the fight, instead securing lopsided victories over Jamie Munguia and Edgar Berlanga.
Training camp in March. Okay, so at the beginning of the middle of the February or March, yeah.
Terence Crawford moved up to light middleweight last August, earning a decision victory over Isra Madrimov to capture the WBA and WBO titles. Following that win, there was renewed talk of a potential Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight. However, it seems the bout may finally be on the horizon. While neither Canelo nor Crawford has officially commented on the report, the signs are pointing to the fight becoming a reality. Earlier this week, the two boxers were seen meeting with Saudi boxing promoter Turki Alilshik, further fueling speculation about the matchup.
We don't talk that much for make a deal and anything, but you know, we now know each other and we'll see.
The executive has been instrumental in arranging long-awaited bouts such as Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk and Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol in recent months. Alilshik has long pushed for a Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight and has made it clear he's willing to pay for the bout. This, combined with the recent report and comments from Crawford, suggests that the fight is indeed in the works. Taking to X earlier today, Crawford vowed to shock the world. For what it's worth, beating Canelo Alvarez will be an uphill battle for the 37-year-old Crawford.
Coming in that the chances of a fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford have, quote, greatly increased.
While Terence Crawford is undoubtedly an all-time great, he'll need to move up 2 weight classes to face the Mexican star. Still, if anyone can defy the odds, it's probably Crawford. Renowned boxing journalist Julius Giulianis recently provided another positive update, stating that a September date for the fight is being considered. While nothing has been officially confirmed, fans and experts have already begun speculating and picking their winners. Terence Crawford has seen and heard enough to join the conversation. The former 3-division ring champion and current WBA 154 pounds title holder is finally on the verge of securing a dream fight with Canelo Alvarez. Multiple sources have informed the ring that significant efforts are being made to make the fight happen later this year. ESPN Deportes' Julius Giuliani suggested that a deal is already in place, while other sources have indicated it could take place as early as May, though such a timeline seems highly ambitious. Alvarez was in London for the inaugural Ring Award ceremony and made a point to meet with Turki Alilshik, the driving force behind Riyadh's season and the new owner of the ring. Alilshik and his group hosted this weekend's ceremony while also meeting with boxing royalty, including Alvarez, to discuss major business for 2025. When Crawford heard his name mentioned, he quickly adjusted his weekend plans to "I'm like a genie when you rub his lamp," Crawford said, posting a picture outside London's Heathrow Airport on Sunday. "Once you call upon me, I appear to grant you one wish because I'm a free genie, not one in cuffs." Alilshik met with Crawford on Sunday, just one day after having productive talks with Alvarez about general business for the year ahead.
Alvarez. Oh, well, it ain't really no message, you know. It's all respect over here, you know, and if, you know, he do decide.
Alvarez is still finalizing plans for a targeted May return to the ring, aiming to defend his WBC, WBA, and WBO super middleweight titles. Crawford, who just moved up to junior middleweight in 2024, would move up another 2 weight divisions for what he has consistently referred to as a legacy fight. Crawford hasn't fought since August 3rd, when he secured a unanimous decision win over Isra Madrimov to claim the WBA and interim WBO junior middleweight titles. The fight headlined the Riyadh season's US launch at __ Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Alilshik has always been eager to deliver an Alvarez-Crawford showdown but briefly put those plans on hold when Alvarez showed little interest in the fight.
To come my way and me and him get in the ring, then it'll be an electrifying fight, you know.
He instead moved forward with a title defense against Edgar Berlanga, whom he outpointed over 12 rounds last September in Las Vegas. Neither Alvarez nor Crawford has fought since then, and it remains unclear, though it seems unlikely, whether Crawford will take a fight before their anticipated showdown. However, these plans could change quickly. Alvarez's presence in London 2 weekends ago was a clear sign of his activity in 2025, and now, the Mexican boxer, Saul Canelo Alvarez, has opened the door for potential surprises with some of his possible rivals.
How important is it that you've spoke with Turki Al-Sheikh?
Say again, please.
How important for you is it that you've spoke to Turki Al-Sheikh, and what did you speak about?
Look, I like to work with everybody.
Canelo Alvarez traveled to London to receive the Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year award, where he met with Turki Al-Sheikh. In an interview with the host, he acknowledged that a fight with Terence Crawford is a possibility. There's always a possibility. We'll see, but there's always a possibility. We're here to do the best business, Canelo told The Ring when asked about his meeting with Al-Sheikh and the potential for a fight with Crawford.
I like to work with everybody. I'm a free agent and I like to work with everybody. And I like to have the doors open.
I'll be honest, I'd be very surprised if that fight happens. I think His Excellency has been pushing for it, but it didn't seem like it was something Canelo really wanted to do, Hearn told Fight Hype, reflecting on a conversation he had with the Mexican boxer about why he would be hesitant to take on Bud Crawford.
Talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
I think his feeling is that when he beats Crawford, everyone will just say, I beat a 154 pounds fighter, said Hearn.